Right, welcome to my humble abode. Today I thought I would give you a little tour of my setup and how I go about my work and how we do things, and sort of start with my home. And what kind of antique boss would I be without an antique home? Yeah, so I live in a what is it, 15th century property. The house was built in 1450. Was originally a hall house. Which was like where they might have had like a judge might have they all sorts of things would have gone on. It would have been like town meetings and things, so like the main house would have been them two windows there, and it would have been all the way up to the top. It was one big room, and then around the 1700s there were two extensions added. So yeah, quite a nice old house. We're lucky to have a little stream running through a front garden there. So that is that. Yeah, basically today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little view into just my setup really, how we run our business mostly from home, and an idea of just our room, how our rooms are set out, just a little nose into my life if you like, just a little nose into how I set up my business from home. Oh yeah, one other thing I thought it might be worth me adding in, just a little bit of a backstory really. So we've lived here a few years now, and just to let you know, when I started the online companies, we were actually in a 2-bedroom flat, a reasonably large 2-bedroom flat, you know, to be said, but it was a flat nonetheless. And you know, we got to the point where our bedroom had to move to the living room, where our stock was being stored, and we had stuff under the. Funny story, I bought about I don't know, 100 say clocks, antique clocks, and we had nowhere to store them. We put them we put them all under our bed, because there was just nowhere to put them. Oh, this makes me laugh now. It was the middle of the night, maybe I don't know, maybe 1 a.m. say for instance, and one started going off, and I don't know how, but suddenly there were 2 or 3 clocks chiming under the bed, and we were sort of waking up. I was trying to find which one it was, because if you lifted my mattress, there was about 40 antique mantle clocks under the bed, and we were trying to work out which one was chiming. But anyway, yeah, so I've been there. You know, I've got plenty of space now, but I'd done this with minimal space when I started off. You know, we've got the lockups to get us going, but when we started out, you know, we started out with very little room to do this. So yeah, just thought I'd run that, but yeah, just thought I'd give you a little bit of a backstory on where we were at before we were here. So you know, it's not a case of like, oh, we've got this space, so it's all right for us. No, we did it when there was no space, and we made it work. Anyway, moving on. Next, let's go to my lockup, where I shot a video yesterday when the weather was really quite different to what it is today. Look at that blue sky. What a beautiful day it is today. See you in a bit. Alright, that is market done. That was our final one of the year. Sort of reasonable day, but the weather, I think, kept a few people away. Look at that. It is like flooding out there. And it's been like this all day long. So yeah, that kept a few people off, but it wasn't, yeah, it was alright. Interesting day. I bought well. Lots more boring toys. The wind blowing the door slam shut on me. Sorry about that. Ugh. Yeah, so I bought well. Some nice buys. Cracky. Do you know what? I think I'm just going to give up on that and rely on artificial light. Ta-da! So yes. Anyway, look like a ghost now, don't I? Anyway, what was I'll get round to my point eventually. Yeah, so this is one of our lockups, which if you've been watching the channel, you've probably seen me. Yeah, I've probably been here several times. But we've got 2 lockups here. And for us, they're an essential part of our business, because storage, obviously, if you're an online reseller, you're buying and selling products, you're working from home most of the time, then having somewhere to store your items is quite useful. I mean, I am fortunate to have quite a large home. We've got a basement. We've actually got a large military bunker, which has also got some stock in. And I've got several rooms in my house that are purposed just for work. We did actually have an office at one point. When I had one of the vintage stores, when I was in partnership with someone, we had offices 15 minutes from my home. And while we were there, I rented another office, so we had 2 offices. And it was quite nice to get away from home and work, and there was obviously extra storage there. But when I bought the company out myself, and sort of took over the business in itself, we had the space at home and we were paying out £10,000 a year in rent for the offices. So I was like, well, we have the space, so until we need the space, let's save 10 grand a year, and yeah, we do it that way. So yeah, anyway, I mean, this is, so to give you an idea, I mean, we got racking that we use to sort of, you know, help work out what's where. And as I say, I've got another lockup over the other side of this unit. Just over the road from here, I've got another lockup, which is mainly full of offline stock, lots of offline stock. And it's things like, we keep some of our packaging in there. And also I've got desks in there and some large items, which are for if we ever get an antique shop, which we might just do soon, you never know. Watch this space, that's all I'm going to say. Not going to say any more than that. Anyway, yeah, we pay for our lockups £160 per month per lockup. So it's just shy of £4,000 a year we pay for that. And what we get for that is a little bit of organised space outside of the home where we haven't got to worry about cluttering up more and more if, you know, trying to find storage in your bedroom and stuff. Because yeah, that's one consideration if you do go into this business. A consideration is you need somewhere to put the stock, because it will soon catch up with you, and it's hard to run a business off of cycling through a small amount of stock. You need an inventory. Not to say that can't be done. Many people do it, but it's easier if you can store an inventory. So anyway, that said, I'm going to pull the bits and pieces that are paid. In fact, yeah, these are just pulled. These are some really good sales, 2 of our raccoon dogs. That one's gone for £125, and that one there has gone for £184. So that right there is £300 in 2 Japanese raccoon dogs, Tanukis. So they're cool. I've also got a few other bits and pieces in. I've got to pull before we go. But yeah, get this pulled, and then I'll go sit outside my daughter's school, and that's that. I guess I'll see you in a minute. Right, and this is my office. This is where I spend most of my days, where I'm sort of doing any of my listings and, you know, computer work, desk work, whatever work I might be doing, organising market for whatever I might have to do on any given day. Obviously I'll keep, you know, working stock in here that I'm currently working through. Cat is often in here quite a bit. And you, Rocco. Yeah, just, I guess my wife's desk when she's ever doing any work in the office. Is obviously a bit cluttered up at the moment as I'm kind of working through some Kakeshis and cleaning them and whatever. This is my work. This is my photo studio. So I just use like a cloth like backdrop, and then we've got a little straightforward lighting setup. Little switch on, switch off. There's also dimming switch, and that's it. It's as simple as that, really. And that there is my entire photography studio. That's literally all I need, and it sets me up right, and I'm quite happy with the way all my photographs come out. What I usually do is at the end of the year, I'll change this to a different colour, a slightly different texture or pattern, and that way I can keep track of like what year I've listed something in. So if I've got products that are backing up, I've got something that might be a certain colour a few years down the line, I can look at it and be like, okay, that's been online for a few years, so maybe we need to try and do something about getting that sold. Yep, there's my desk. So my television for watching, currently watching Yellowstone, or I might watch YouTube while I'm working or something. Yeah, have it playing in the background. Yeah, set of scales there for making sure things aren't over certain weights. It's just a desk. But yeah, that's oh, little record player there. For either listening to music, listening to records, or testing records before I list them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's my little home away from home, sort of at home. This is where I spend most of my days doing my work. So yeah, I'll show you out the window. I'll show you out the window, but there's nothing to see at the moment. But it just goes into my back garden, which is pitch black at the moment because it's evening time. Anyway, on to the next room. Where we got next is let's show you the other storage room. We've got through here. My wife's really busy at the moment. Let's have a look. Right. So this is one of our storage rooms in the house. Not really much I can say in here other than look, it's just a ton of boxes, and some interesting stuff, and more boxes. And then behind me there is some drawer units, more drawer units. This is where we store pretty much all of our Japanese product. So if I go through these drawers, you're gonna find, you know, lots of Kakeshis and sort of mainly Kakeshis in these drawers. There might be some ceramics, some smalls, but primarily you're just gonna find a lot of Kakeshis in here. So yeah, I mean, that's my system as well. Oh yeah, sorry, it's not just, yeah, there's anything that's too big for the drawers we keep in these boxes. So yeah, as you see, there's a few of these boxes here. Our system is to SKU them, W9, 98, they're not in order at the moment, 23, 4, blah blah blah. The drawers thankfully are in order. Be a bit worrying if they weren't, to be fair. But yeah, so yeah, 64, 65. They're on the actual SKU, they're WS53, WS54, but yeah, you do what you want. That's just the way we do it. As I go over here behind the door, I find there's more stuff being stored. That's all Tanukis. When I say Tanukis, they're like the raccoon dogs that you'll see in the lockup. That's all Tanukis, that's all Tanukis. I think that's all Tanukis. That is all wooden bears. And then everything behind that, all that lot, is Kakeshis for what we can fit in the house. That's all Tanukis. That's Japanese ceramics. They're photo albums. Yeah, so it's a very busy little room. I did have my office in here at one point, which was quite nice, but it's a very dark room, this one. So yeah, I didn't have the lights on when I was in the other room. That light room, my office lights up really nicely. This room's quite dark and dull. It just wasn't a very nice place to work. So anyway, we'll carry on the tour. I go through here. This is my gym, which I've actually currently got some stock in here. So yes, quite unfortunate to have a home gym. Let's spend some time in that as well when I get a chance to. I haven't done as much as I'd like to have lately. Then this is into our main packing room, and also stock room for one of our vintage stores. So this is where most of the work happens. My wife spends her work days in here. This is her packing desk. So you see there, she's got sort of, we use like sort of craft paper, whatever you want to call it, for sort of, they're our choice of, that's what we use for our void filler. We do also use do, I don't know where they are. We do also use big green pillows, like air-filled pillows. Boxes are up there. Bubble wrap is on there. So yeah, it's set up to be functional. So you've got everything to hand. If you want to take something to the desk, you can pack it all there and walk away with it boxed and labelled. We use zebra printer for our labels. Yeah, I mean, then behind me here we've got more racking that's got some stored packaging, and then there's like some stock. If you go up the top, we've got, this is quite a tall room, this room, so quite like it's a, I ain't got a clue how tall this room is. It's a tall room. I could stand on my shoulders in here, which doesn't say a lot because I'm not very tall. But yeah, again, over here we've got more more boxes. We keep boxes at our storage containers, but then obviously we keep some to hand so that we haven't got to go to the storage container every single time we run out of some boxes. So we do keep, you know, and we keep some here before we have to move on. There's another little desk here. This is if I'm helping out with some packaging, or if I'm doing my pulling videos, you'll see this is where I'm working here. So if I'm helping my wife get some packaging done, that's where I'll be working. Again, there's some more drawers down here. We use these these wide ones are for like paperwork and artwork. So you see there, if I open it up, it'll be sort of, you know, some paintings in the top there, that sort of thing. So yeah, we use these, and then this, yeah, there's like Victorian scrapbook pages, and yeah, as you go down, more artwork, Chinese paintings on silk. Yeah, so that's that sort of thing really. Just trying to think if there's anything else I could show you. Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate we've got a reasonably large size home, and we've managed to fill every nook and cranny in here. If I go behind the Christmas tree, there's a cupboard there that's full up with stock. As I come through here, we're currently sorting through lots of stock at the moment. I'm in the dining room. We've got some boxes that we're currently working through. Got a dog as well, he's in here. Hello, Axel. You're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, yeah, say if sort of stuff comes into the house, it'll go into the living room or the dining room, where it'll be sorted through and either go into storage or go in for clearing up market. So we try to keep our living space as clear as possible, and that's another reason why it's great to have the lockups of the shipping containers. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and that's about wraps that up really. So that's just a little tour of my setup and how I, you know, how I run my business from home. As if I've already put on the bit in the lockup. In the lockup I did say that we had offices previously, but as we could fit it in our house and save ourselves 10 grand a year, for the minute we kept it in the house, although we'll probably outgrow our house this year. So, and there are some things on the horizon which I won't go into too much yet, because there could be some exciting stuff coming up this year, even early this year. So I'll let you all know how that goes as and when it happens. But yeah, apart from that, I'll sign off now. Thank you for watching. Any questions, feel free to shoot them in. But yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically been a little video of what my setup is from home, how I operate my business, my online business from home, how we sort of make it work and what we do and how we do it. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I will see you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great whatever you're doing. See you later.